Hey, morning, Rushy regulars. What is it, Tumbleweed? You got that strange look in your eye.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Okay, you're the one that insisted that we record this while standing on the surface of the moon.
What? We're on the surface of the moon now?
Yeah, I feel like I'm staring at the sun
Why is that?
constantly because it's so damn bright in here. Hey, by the way, today Tumbleweed announces his incredible coloring contest. More details on that coming up before this video podcast is over. And we're counting down the days, Kelly. How many days left?
Well, it's tomorrow's when college football kicks off, Florida versus Miami. I'm excited to watch that game. We got high school football already underway, and we've got 8 days now to Gamecock football.
8 days to Gamecock football, and the Tigers are kicking off Thursday night.
Couldn't care less. Hope they lose.
We got some Morning Rush regulars, and we're going to hear from the Tiger fans right now. Tell Kelly to borrow, hey, why don't you borrow Jonathon's football and then put it,
I actually put out a tweet this week, and it breaks my heart to say that and to actually do the tweet, that in the history of college football, there has only been 2 football teams that have ever, in the history of the programs, started the season at number 1 and then ran the gamut and ended the season at number 1. It's only happened twice. It was I want to say it was like Florida State in 1999 or something like that, and like 07 USC Trojans did it. But I really believe, just looking at the schedule and the lineup, I think that the Clemson Tigers have a very good shot at being the 3rd team in the history of college football to start at number 1 and not lose a game all season. It's just their biggest tests are Texas A&M, and then
that's it.
That's really it.
Alabama.
Well, you're talking about once you get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that they just seem so loaded, and the only downside for them would have been their defensive line, but they're replacing all of the incredible line that they had with 5-star recruits. They're all top-of-the-line athletes. So it's good. I really would be surprised if Clemson doesn't run the table and end up as the national champion.
Well, I know in the state newspaper they were talking about it. They're going to go undefeated for the season.
Is that what they said in the state?
And then I didn't read the one for the Gamecocks.
You don't want to read that.
I know. But I was this close before I read that article. Before I heard Kelly speak, I was this close to betting the 401k on Game 2 of the Tigers, and I could retire then. If Texas A&M beat them, I could retire. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just come and do this show free. All right, so let's talk about Monday show today. So we're looking at, of course, a moral dilemma.
And by the way, we'll give you a sneak peek on the moral dilemma. I don't know if we're going to air the phone call from the young lady, but it's really unbelievable. We've never had a moral dilemma like this. Her fiance's parents apparently have never approved of her. They've never wanted her with their son, and now, as a couple, they have reached out to her and offered her $20,000 to leave.
Only $20,000?
Jonathan makes a lot more money than the rest of us. So for $20,000, most people are saying, wait a minute, that's tax-free cash. That's about a half a year, maybe even more salary. If you make $60,000, that's about a half a year salary.
I'm putting myself in her high heels.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you want me to leave him alone for the rest of his life, and you're only going to pay me $20,000? For the rest of his life? I mean, how valuable is your love for your son? Well, how valuable is his time? I don't
think that these are millionaires where you can say, oh, you want $1 million from me?
Okay.
But, so is Jonathan's advice then? Are we getting a sneak peek at the advice? Go back for more.
Go big.
So Jonathan's willing to negotiate and say, listen, $20,000. If you're willing to pay 20, you're definitely willing to pay 30.
Go big.
Yeah, don't be reasonable. Go
Come
big.
on. You at least got to get a Beamer out of this deal. You ain't going to get a Beamer for $20,000.
I mean, at least it would pay off her college student debt. She'd start off life debt-free. You can always find love. What if he died? You don't know.
Well, in all seriousness, I'm sure that you feel like, or some people may feel like their in-laws hate them that much, but that's preposterous.
Preposterous?
Yes. Why would you as a family... We can talk about it. It's his choice, right? She didn't marry the family. I know she has to show up for Christmas and all that, but why would you possibly put your own child through that?
What do you mean? How are they putting their own child through it? They're just saying, she doesn't tell them, I'm breaking up because your parents paid me $20,000.
Oh.
It would be, Listen, you know what? It's just really not working out. And,
but he would be miserable, is what I'm saying.
First off, it's the start of a great movie. This is a great movie waiting to happen. It sounds like it's already been written.
This is a good movie.
I don't know if we're going to play Her Call. We have the call. I don't know if we play it, though.
There's a lot of different angles on that we can explore. So we'll start. That's a huge moral dilemma. But we're listening for your input on that Monday morning at 6:30. You know our number.
6:15.
6:15. 978-9267. 978-WCOS. We're doing that Monday first thing.
Major League Baseball this weekend doing something special where it's nickname weekend. So all the players, including like my favorite team, the New York Yankees, which never puts names on the backs of the jerseys, this weekend will have names on the backs of the jerseys. And it's nicknames. They're not actual names.
That's funny.
So they have a whole bunch of them in here. Like, my Yankees, I love the Yankees. Zach Britton, the pitcher, his nickname is with a K.
Okay.
So, A, K is what you call a strikeout.
Right.
B, more importantly for him, that's how you spell Zach, with a K.
With a K.
So, that's an interesting nickname. Did you have an interesting nickname ever in high school or anything? Mine was kind of mean that they gave me.
Okay.
So, we didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid. And so one year to try to save money, and I had to get new cleats every year, new basketball sneakers, because I was always growing. I had a lot of growth spurts as a child. And it was like my junior year of high school. We had to go buy new cleats, and I wanted the Nikes or whatever everybody wanted.
Sure.
But they didn't have those. So we couldn't afford those.
Right.
So we went with, I think it was McGregor was the brand, which is like a quarter of the price of the Nikes. Mm-hmm. And they were white cleats with an orange bottom. And the guys on the soccer team started calling me Juice. As they mocked the crap out of me. Out of me and my cleats, because they all had the cool cleats with the white or the gray bottoms or whatever was hot back in those days. And I had the only pair that was orange. Right. And so I got mocked. So I was Juice through high school.
The only color that clashes with his skin, with his hair and skin, his mama made him wear orange with red.
Another reason I've always hated orange.
Okay.
I've always hated orange. So Clemson.
I only have a couple of nicknames from a different couple of circles of friends. None of them really stuck, though. It never really... Hose, as a long story with that.
Is it a good story or no?
It's interesting.
Well, then tell it.
No, I might tell it Monday.
Oh. Here's a story that I can't tell on the radio. You mentioned other groups of friends.
Okay.
When I was 16, I couldn't tell the story on the radio, I don't think. I almost killed myself. I didn't understand. First off, kids, if you're watching this, which you probably shouldn't be, you should be in school right now, but kids should not be drinking alcohol, right? That's a no-no. 16, especially not then. I did not listen to people. I drank alcohol. What I drank was beer. Well, this one night, I wanted Jack Daniels. My little pea brain didn't understand there's a huge difference between Jack Daniels and beer.
Alcohol content.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. So I had a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Got a handle of Jack.
Yeah, which to me is about a beer and a half. And I walked into it was a college party on the main floor. If you went into the basement, it was the high school party. So as I was walking through the college party with my bottle of Jack Daniels, the college girls were very impressed with me.
Right.
You're going to drink all that? Yeah, I'm going to drink all this. And I can't believe that they're impressed by that. So I'm like, they don't know what a cool dude I am. So I go downstairs and I start drinking it, and for whatever reason, my taste buds or whatever, I'm not one of those people who, when you taste something that's either not tasty or whatever, I don't have like that. I can't drink it anymore. I can push through it. So I finished off half the bottle probably within about 15 minutes. I mean, it's like drinking a beer. Wow. So, and I went upstairs with my bottle, and I was going to the restroom, and the girls were like, "Oh my gosh!" I remember them coming downstairs with me. And they like, at one point I had one on each knee, and I'm drinking the Jack Daniels, and they're pouring it down my throat. I'm living my David Lee Roth dream. Like, this is the guy I always wanted to be, right? And that's all I remember. Next thing I know, there's convulsions, there's near-death experiences. My mother was put through hell that night.
Right.
It was a
at the
brutal...
hospital,
the hospital came to me.
Yes.
I couldn't have made it to the hospital. There. So, anyway... For the group that was at that party and a couple of other people, my nickname was Jack.
Jack.
For the rest, and I'm sure if I went back to East Hartford now, some of those kids would probably still, hey, Jack, what's going on? So that was a mean nickname. I never got any good nicknames.
What did we learn here? What did we learn here, Morning Rush regulars? Women from Connecticut will try to kill you. They will watch you die for their entertainment on a Friday night. We're going to offer up this ginger. Put him on the altar with Jack. That's what they will do.
Jonathan, we've got pumpkin spice making a comeback. I don't know if they have it in Jack Daniels. I've never heard of pumpkin spice Jack Daniels, but pumpkin spice is coming back in a big way this fall, and there's a new survey out, and interestingly enough, it's not just hyped up by the marketers. It turns out that 79% of Americans surveyed want pumpkin spice available year-round. They love it, and they love it most in coffee. That's the number one thing that they want their pumpkin spice in. I don't know.
I saw an interview the other day, and it was like it wasn't like Seattle or someplace that you think might even be kind of chill temperature-wise this time of the year. It was like Tampa. People were coming out of Starbucks with pumpkin spice, sweating their butt off, and hovered over a little cup of coffee, talking about how much they love the pumpkin spice. Like, these people are nuts. Hey, what if one of the Spice Girls had actually been Pumpkin Spice? Imagine how much money she'd be making in endorsements today.
Pumpkin spice says the best pumpkin spice is Starbucks. Pumpkin
Exactly.
spice or whatever, yeah.
Right. She could be doing all these.
Pour apple spice and be like, come on.
Yeah. So, the pumpkin spice thing, which now is in Spam, we just read about that the other day.
That is so nasty.
That is nasty.
Spam is nasty.
I wonder if that jelly on top of the can, you know, when you open it up, you see it together. That's the pure spice. You want just that part. Just get a straw and
Jonathan's trying to make you nauseous here.
that's sick.
Why don't you do that?
Show of hands, how many people have one slice of Spam in their life? Just one.
Oh, I've had it, yeah.
One slice. That was
I've
enough
always
for
had
me.
it.
Okay.
I might have had more than one because I was obviously cruising for a bruising as a kid. I did a lot of bad things to my body back in those
when
days.
Kelly was 16, he's drunk. He's got alcohol poisoning. They put him on the altar. The Connecticut girls are they're smearing pumpkin Spam spice all over his body. Now we get into a good movie. That's a part of it. That's a great scene.
And by the way, the top 10 things that people want pumpkin spice in is cookies at 2, cereal, marshmallows, donuts, yogurt, cream cheese, coffee creamer, tea, and liquor. Liquor?
Liquor. Jack Daniels pumpkin spice is coming. I'm surprised it's not here already.
Do we have pumpkin spice beer? I think we do. I think
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen that. Tumbleweeds is
microbrews.
acknowledging,
Yeah.
yes, we
Yeah,
do.
Tumbleweed's got the microbrews down here in the Vista. He's come crawling home smelling a pumpkin.
All right, I can have pumpkin. Well, I don't know. Is there something that we don't have pumpkin spice in that we should? Or is there a better spice than pumpkin spice?
Oh, now we're talking. Hey, the great spice, but we don't have room for that Monday, do we? Are we
Yeah,
doing that?
we can do that one 7:15.
Let's do it at 7:15 Monday, and because I'm starting to feel football coming on. Maybe it's
Yes.
just because I know it's time for football kickoff, but I think I felt a little bit of it in the air yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, none of my body screamed, hey, let's go get something with pumpkin spice in it. But nonetheless, it's getting to be that time of the year.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to do all that Monday. Remember, get in touch with us on Twitter. You can do it here on the Facebook. And more importantly, we want to hear you tell your story. Tell your story. Monday is 978 WCOS. Monday on the Morning Rush. Have a great weekend.